mukti ashraya. Shri Sukha Vacha. Atra sargo visargascha sthanam poshanam utaya manvantareshu shanukatha nirodho mukti ashraya. Shri Sukha Vacha. Atra sargo visargascha sthanam poshanam utaya manvantareshanukatha nirodho mukti ashraya. Please recite.
Shri Sukha Uvacha Atra Sargo Visargascha Sthanam Poshanam Utaya Manovantare Shanukata Nirodho Muktir Ashraya. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sukha Uvacha Atra Sargo Visargascha Sthanam Poshanam Utyaha Manavantare Shanukatha Nirodho Muktir Ashraya. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sri Shukho Uvacha Atto Sargo Visargascha Sthanam Poshanam Utaya Manmantare Shanukatha Nirodho Mukti Rashraya. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Shri Shuka Uvacha Atra Sargo Visargascha Sthanam Poshanam Utaya Manvantare Shanukatha Nirodho Muktirashraya.
Srisuka Uvacha Atra Sargo Visargascha Sthanam Poshanam Uttayah Manvantare Shankatha Nirodho Muktirashayah.
Anyone else would like to recite? Okay, then I'll recite. Synonyms. Sri Sukha Vacha. Sri Sukdev Goswami said, Atra in this Srimad Bhagavatam, Sarga, statement of the creation of the universe, Visarga, statement of subcreation, Cha also, Sthanam, the planetary systems, Poshanam, protection, Utya, the creative impetus, Manvantar, changes of Manus, Isha Anukatha, the signs of God, Nirodha, going back home, back to Godhead, Muktihi, liberation, Ashraya, the summum boom. Translation and purport translation. Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, there are 10 divisions of statements regarding the following: the creation of the universe, subcreation, planetary systems, protection by the Lord, the creative impetus, the change of Manus, the signs of God, returning home, back to Godhead, liberation, and the Samambhava. So I'll recite the verse number 2 and 3 also together. Dashamasya vidyaratham navanam iya lakshanam varnayanti mahatmana shrutena arthena chanjasa. Synonyms. Dasham Ashya, of the Samambhomam, Vishuddhi, isolation, Artham, purpose, Navanam, of the other 9, Iha, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Lakshanam, symptoms, Varanayanti, they describe, Maha Atmana, the great sages, Shrutena, by Vedic evidences, Arthena, by direct explanation, Cha and Anjasa, summarily. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. To isolate the transcendence of the Samam Bhomam, the symptoms of the rest are described sometimes by Vedic inference, sometimes by direct explanation, and sometimes by summary explanation given by the great sages. In the verse number 3. भूतमात्रेन्द्रियाधीयां जन्म सर्गा उदाहृता ब्रह्मणो गुण वैषम्याद विसर्गा पौरुषा स्मृतः. Synonyms: Bhuta, the five gross elements, the sky, etc. Matra, objects perceived by the senses. Indriya, the senses. Dhyam, of the mind. Janma, creation. Sarga, manifestation. Udaha, udahrataha, is called the creation. Brahmanaha, of Brahma, the first Purusha. Guna Vaishamyad, by interaction of three modes of nature. Visarga, recreation. Paurushaha, resultant activities. Samrataha, it is so known. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaran Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: the elementary creation of 16 items of matter, namely the five elements fire, water, land, air, and sky. Sound, form, taste, smell, touch, and the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, and mind is known as Sarga. Various subsequent resultant interaction of the modes of material nature is called Visarga. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In order to explain the 10 divisional symptoms of Srimad Bhagavatam, there are 7 continuous verses. The first of these under reference pertain to 16 elementary manifestation of earth, water, etc. with material ego composed of material intelligence and mind. The subsequent creation is a result of reaction of the above mentioned 16 energies of first Purusha, Mahapurusha, incarnation of Govinda, as later explained by Brahma in his treatise Brahma Samhita 547 as follows. यह कारण आर्णव जले भजति स्म योगा निद्राम अनंत जगदंड सरोमकूपा आधार शक्तिमवलंब्य पराम समूर्तिम गोविंदमादि पुरुषम तमहम भजामि. The first Purusha incarnation of Govinda, Lord Krishna, known as Mahavishnu, goes into Yog Nidra, mystic sleep, and the innumerable universes are situated in potency in each and every air hole of his transcendental body. As mentioned in the previous verse, Srutena, or with reference to the Vedic conclusions, the creation is made possible from the Supreme Personality of Godhead directly by manifestation of his particular energies. Without such a Vedic reference, the creation appears to be a product of material nature. This conclusion comes from a poor fund of knowledge. From Vedic reference, it is concluded the origin of all energies, namely internal, external, and marginal, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and is explained herein before. The illusory conclusion is that creation is made by the inert material nature. The Vedic conclusion is transcendental light. The non-Vedic conclusion is material darkness. The internal potency of Supreme Lord is identical with the Supreme Lord, and the external potency is enlivened in contact with the internal potency. The part and parcel of the internal potency which reacts in contact with the external potency are called the marginal potency of the living entities. Thus, the original creation is directly from the Supreme Personality of Godhead or Par-Brahman, and the secondary creation as a reactionary result of the original ingredients is made by Brahma. Thus, the activities of the whole universe are started. Om Ajnanatimirasya Jnananjana Chakshur Ulmitamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaham Dadati Swapadantikam. Vande Aham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadkamram Shri Gurun Vaishnamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajim Sadhavaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanimitamsha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namne. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Prachane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatane. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Goratusha Nama. पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्त रूप स्वरूपकं भक्तवतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्त शक्तिकम् वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुत देवी प्रणमामि हरि प्रिय। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। So this is the chapter 10. The title of this chapter is Bhagavatam is the answer to all questions. Very interesting title. Srila Prabhupada gives this title to this chapter. In reality, whatever question we have pertaining to material world or pertaining to spiritual world, Bhagavatam is answer to the all question here. In reality, Bhagavatam have all these details that a person can think about or person can see or perceive in this material world. So as you see in Bhagavad Gita, in the introduction, Srila Prabhupada actually mentioned that Bhagavad Gita contains 5 primary subject matters. They are Ishvara, the Supreme Lord; Jiva, the living entities; Prakriti, the material nature; Kala, the time; and Karma, the activities. These are the 5 subject matters which are being discussed in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. If you see the verses of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, all those verses are talking about one of these subject matter. Either they are talking about Ishvara, the Supreme Lord; they are talking about Jiva, living entity; they are talking about material nature, Prakriti; or Kala, time; or they are talking about Karma, the activities of the living entities. So those 5 subject matters are very much discussed in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Lord Krishna described that. Similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam explains 10 subject matters. 10 subject matters, which actually more detailed and contain all the details of this material nature and the spiritual world. So here, Sukadeva Goswami is mentioning those 10 subject matters. That's why Srila Prabhupada gave this title that Bhagavatam is the answer to all questions. So here, Sukadeva Goswami is saying these 10 subject matter as Shri Shuka Vacha, Atra Sargo Visargascha Sthanam Poshanam Utaya Manvantare Shanu Katha Nirodho Mukti Ashraya. So what are these 10 subject matters? Here it is mentioned that Atra, here we see Shri Sukha Vacha, Srila Sukadeva Goswami spoke, Srila Sukadeva Goswami said, Atra, here means in Srimad Bhagavatam, Atra, Sargo. Sarga is the primary creation. That we are going to discuss in the verse number 3. The Sarga is discussed. Then Visarga is the secondary creation. So Sarga is the primary creation which is being performed by Lord Mahavishnu or Karnodakshahi Vishnu. And Visarga means the secondary creation or the sub creation. This sub creation is dependent upon the primary creation. So this sub creation or the secondary creation is performed by Lord Brahma. So here it is said, Atra, in this Srimad Bhagavatam, first is described primary creation, which is done by Lord Mahavishnu or Karnodakshayi Vishnu, who is the first Purusha incarnation of the Lord Krishna. So Sarga is done by, primary creation is done by Lord Mahavishnu. Visarga is done by Lord Brahma. We are going to discuss these 2 topics in the verse number 3. Cha. Also, and what else is that? Sthanam. Sthanam is like we see in this material world, we have a 14 planetary system, starting from Satya Loka, Brahma Loka. Then we have Jana Loka, Tapa Loka, Mahar Loka. Three planets for the sages. Then we have these heavenly planets. Then we have outer space, and then we have this middle planet system where this Earth planet is there. Then below we have Atal, Sutal, Talatal, Mahatal, Satal, Patal. The 7 planet system below Earth. So these Sthanam is basically talking about all these planetary system in Srimad Bhagavatam. And eventually, when a living entity transcend these 14 planetary system and go back home, back to Godhead in the Vaikuntha planet, that is being also described here. So is Sthana means Sthiti Vaikuntha Vijaya. Sukdev Goswami is going to explain later. I'm just talking about like giving you detail that Sthana means here all these different 14 planetary system is basically where birth and death is going on. Birth, old age, disease, and death, they are going on in this 14 planetary system. And the real goal of human form of life is to transcend this material nature and go back home, back to Godhead on the Vaikuntha planets. So that is being described as Sthanam. Then we have Poshanam. Poshanam is basically the protection provided by the Lord to the devotee, to the living entity. Protection is basically like when Lord's unlimited causeless mercy is there for all the living entities in the material world. So if we are all suffering the material world because of our revolt against the law of the Lord. But still, Lord is giving us protection. Lord is giving us mercy, both material and spiritually, so that we can actually make progress in our desires. That is like a Poshanam. Then Utiya. Utiya is basically creative impetus is that every living entity have a impetus or a desire to perform activities to satisfy their desires. So every living entity is full of desires and they have something they want to do like spiritually, materially. So for that, they have like in their heart, they have these inclinations or what we call samskaras or consciousness. And those are being mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam, especially like like various places these things are mentioned. Then Manvantara, next subject matter is Manvantara. So Manvantara, this is 6th one. So we discuss Sargaha first, Visarga second, Sthanam third, Poshanam fourth, Poshanam fifth, Utiya. 6th one is Manvantara, changes of Manu. So in one day of Brahma, which is basically if we see 1000 yuga cycles. 1000 yuga cycle mean like there are 4 ages: Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Kali Yuga. According to the Vedic scriptures, there are 4 different ages like Satya, Treta, Dwapar, Kali. We are in Kali Yuga and 5000 years has gone in this Kali Yuga. So the whole Kali Yuga is 432,000 years. And before Kali Yuga, there was Dwapar Yuga, which is double of Kali Yuga, means 864,000 years. And Treta Yuga before that was 3 times of Kali Yuga, 1296,000 years. And then before that was Satya Yuga, which is 4 times of Kali Yuga. So if you total combined Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Kali Yuga, we combined, that will come 10 times of the time of Kali Yuga. Like Kali Yuga is 432,000 years. So then it's become multiplied by 10. So this will become like 1 day of Brahma. These 4 yuga combined together will make 1 day of Brahma. And similarly is the Brahma's night. It is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So in one day of Brahma, this whole universe is ruled by 14 Manus. If we divide these one yuga cycle, actually, so sorry, the one yuga cycle multiplied by 1,000, So when this one yuga cycle goes for 1,000 times, that become one day of Brahma. I mistakenly said just 4 yugas. Actually, 4 yugas multiplied by 1,000 will make one day of Brahma. So in that one day of Brahma, 14 Manu comes on a different intervals, and they rule this universe. So first Manu was Swambhu Manu, who is the son of Brahma. Then we have second Manu, third Manu, fourth Manu, fifth Manu, sixth Manu. Right now, the seventh Manu, who is the son of Vivaswan. Vaivaswat Manu is ruling this universe. And we are in the 28th Yuga cycle of this Manvanta, and we are in the Kali Yuga. So in one Manu, there are 71 Yuga cycle. This means 71 times this Satyuga, Trayatuga, Dwapara, Kali Yuga goes. So ultimately, it's basically becomes like 14 Manu in one day of Brahma. So all these descriptions are given in Srimad Bhagavatam. That will come later. Then this is I'm just giving a brief detail. Later, when the topic will come, the other speaker or the devotees will explain in more details. Then the seventh subject is Isha Anukatha, Science of God. Means we'll see pastime of the Lord. Lord takes different incarnation. Like Lord take Matsya avatar, fish incarnation, Kurma avatar, tortoise. Then Lord takes like a Varha avatar, the boar incarnation, and then Nrsimha avatar, Parshuram, Vamandev, Lord Ram, Krishna. All these like Buddha, Kalki. So these are all different incarnations, plus there are more mentioned in first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, verse chapter number 3. So all these different pastimes are being described in the Srimad Bhagavatam, that is called the science of God. How Lord performs his different activities. Then Nirodha. Nirodha is basically liberation. Or Nirodha is actually going back home, back to Godhead. Means Nirodha means to give up this material world and go back home, back to Godhead. So this is giving up this material world and go back home. This is also being discussed. This is the topic number 8, subject number 8. And then Mukti, ultimately liberation. Liberation actually means becoming servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Generally, people say liberation means liberation from material entanglement, which is yes, which is the first part. But when we become a devotee of the Lord, that is the real liberation. Srila Prabhupada mentioned that the real liberation is when we become servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because once we become servant, we will not fall down again back to the material world. So this is the real liberation. So this also being described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And then finally, the Ashraya, the Samam Bomam. This Ashraya is a Samam Bomam. Means these details like the about Srimad Bhagavatam describes about the beautiful pastimes of Lord Krishna in Vrindavan, in Mathura, and in Dwarka. So this Samam Bomam is basically the pastimes of Supreme Personality of Godhead, or the Ashraya Tattva. The final Ashraya is Sri Krishna. So these are 10 subject matters are being described. And Srila Prabhupada actually very beautifully explained that these 10 subject matters are in the Srimad Bhagavatam in different chapters, different cantos. Well, actually, these subject matters are spread all over the Srimad Bhagavatam, but Srila Prabhupada actually, if you see the title of the Srimad Bhagavatam, how Srila Prabhupada gave them, I'll show you the titles here. You see Srimad Bhagavatam here. See here, Srila Prabhupada gave Canto 1 as a creation. This is Sarga. Then second canto, he says the cosmic manifestation, which is Visarga. Third one is the status quo. Srila Prabhupada give this, which is Sthanam. Then the canto 4 is the creation of the fourth order, which is Poshanam. I'm giving you the name also together. Then canto 5th is creative impetus, Utiya. Then canto 6 is prescribed duty of mankind, Manvantareshu. Then canto 7 is the science of God, Ishanu Katha. Then canto 7 is like that, which is Nirodha. Then canto 9 is Mukti, and canto 10 is Samambhuma. And then these are the general history and the age of deterioration. So now you understand this, like how Srila Prabhupada give the name of this of the cantos. So these cantos are basically given names because Sukadeva Goswami mentioned these 10 subject matters. So Srila Prabhupada give name like this. Other acharyas have given in a different way, like they have described that these subject matters are being spreaded all over the places. Sarga is in first canto, Visarga in the second and third. Sthanam is basically the fifth canto, and Poshanam is the sixth canto. Seventh canto is Utiya, like that. So Jiva Goswami and Sridhar Swami have actually given different ways. But these 10 subject matters makes this Srimad Bhagavatam as Mahapuran. So there are various Purans in our Srimad in our Vedic history. So some Purans are ordinary Puran, like where only 5 subject matters are being discussed. But because Srimad Bhagavatam describes these 10 subject matters, that's why it is called Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuran. Mahapuran means which described all these 10 subject matters. So that's why this Srimad Bhagavatam is also a Mahapuran. So now this here in the second verse, Sukadeva Goswami says, Dashmasya Vishuddhya Artham Namanam Iha Lakshanam Vranayanti Mahatmana Shrutena Arthena Chanjasa. Now, very beautifully, he is saying that to isolate the transcendent of Samam Bhomam. So, Srila Prabhupada always says that when we want to, Samam Bhomam is who? Lord Shri Krishna. So, Srimad Bhagavatam is also basically described as that is a transcendental body of Krishna. Like the lotus feet, the first lotus feet of Sri Krishna is like canto 1. Then we little go canto 2 up, little go up canto 3, canto 4, canto 5, and like that. If we go to the face of Lord Krishna, that is the Samambhom canto 10. So Srila Prabhupada actually recommended us that before we go to the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, we should systematically study each and every verse starting from first canto. So from first canto, we should go second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th. 10th is the Samambhoma. So that's why here Sukadeva Goswami also, as I said, to isolate the transcendence of Samambhoma, the transcendental nature of Lord Shri Krishna, the symptoms of rest are described. These 9 subject matters are being described in the first 9 cantos. To isolate the transcendent means Lord Shri Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. To establish that these 9 cantos are being described. So sometimes we say like suppose if we get a nice plate of prasadam, like if generally we offer Lord 56 offering, Chappan Bhog. So when we offer Chappan Bhog, so there are a lot of varieties of food, like prasadam is there, right? So if somebody gave you that prasadam, all Chappan Bhog, and you have to take it, so it's very delicious, right? But before we take this delicious prasadam, suppose if a person is sick, a person is having a disease. So if person is sick and then you offer them 56 offering, will they be able to take it? Probably not, because that person is sick. He has a fever, other problem, other disease, cough, cold, or what, so many problems are there. And if you give them like prasadam, they can take the prasadam because so many delicious item is there, but because that person is diseased, he really can't take it. So what should we do that? So first we have to give them a medicine. Like we have to give them proper medicine to recover it from the disease. So once a person become healthy, and then you give them that 56 offering nice prasadam, then he will enjoy, relish the prasadam. If a person is diseased, he will not be able to relish the prasad nicely. So our condition, the living, the fallen conditioned soul in the material world are disease condition. We are in a very diseased condition. So we cannot directly enjoy 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam because we have material disease. We are infected by this material disease, which is in the form of lust. Lust, greed, anger. These things are basically captured our heart. So if we directly go to 10th canto, we cannot relish it. We cannot relish, like we cannot, a diseased person cannot really relish the prasadam. So what we need medicine. Our condition is material disease, and the medicine is these first 9 cantos. These first 9 cantos are proper medicine. We given at a proper time, one by one we give it. And when we take this 9 canto medicine very nicely, when we come to 10th canto, we will relish the beautiful pastimes of Lord Krishna, which is the summum bonum of this Srimad Bhagavatam. That's why I say that to isolate the transcendence of summum bonum, the symptoms of rest are described, and they are also described in 3 ways. Very beautifully, Sukdev Goswami mentioned by Vedic inference. Here, Srimad Bhagavatam actually mentioned all this information by combining the information from all the Vedas and giving the conclusion here. Srimad Bhagavatam is actually a commentary on the Vedanta Sutra, which is the summum, which is the conclusion of the whole Vedic literature. See, Srila Vedvyas Muni first compiled all the Vedas. Vedas are very wide and huge, right? And after compiling all these Vedas, he gave these 4 Vedas to his 4 disciples. But those 4 disciples were only interested in their own section. So then he actually took the knowledge or essential part of the Vedas and combined into the form of Upanishads, which is more than 500 Upanishads are there. He actually combined, and their principal 108 Upanishads, and out of that, primary 8 Upanishads are important, and the first Upanishad is Shri Ishopanishad. That is very first, most important Upanishad is Shri Ishopanishad. So all this transcendental knowledge is there in the Upanishads. And then to summarize again in a condensed form, he put it into this Vedanta Sutra. And then later, by the inspiration of Narada Muni, he actually took this Vedanta Sutra and explained them into the Srimad Bhagavatam. So he says by Vedic inference and sometime by direct explanation, giving pastimes of Lord Krishna. Different pastimes are there, their direct explanation is there. And sometime by summary explanation in a conclusion form given by the sages. Like sometime we see Narad Muni speaking, Maitreya Muni speaking, or like Sukdev Goswami speaking. So various sages are speaking about the Srimad Bhagavatam in a summary form. So this is very nicely explained in this particular Srimad Bhagavatam. Then in the verse number 3, which is like is talk about Sarga and Visarga. So here says Bhuta Matendriya Dhyam Janma Sarga Udahrata Brahmano Gun Vaishamyad Visarga Porushaha Smrata. They say that elementary creation of 16 item of matter. So first primary 16 elements are created by Lord Mahavishnu. And what are those? They are 5 gross elements: earth, fire, air, ether, water. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita chapter number 7, verse number 4, Bhumi Rapo Anulo Vayu Khamna Buddhirevacha Ahankarityam me Binna Prakriti Rashtada. In that, he mentioned that earth, fire, air, ether, water. These 5 elements are called Panch Mahabhut or great stock. Lord has created these 5 elements in a very, very huge amount, which is spread all over the universe. These are the 5 great elements are called Panch Mahabhut: fire, water, land, air, and sky. Then there are 5 sense objects which are pertaining to these 5 gross elements: sound, form, taste, smell, and touch. I'm not going in detail. Actually, it takes a lot of time to discuss, but I'm just briefly touching this. when the subject will come, they can discuss more detail in the 10th, in the canto 3rd. Then the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. These are 5 senses which are used for these 5 sense objects. So they are all interrelated. So total 15. If we combine, they become 3 sets. The set of 3, 3. So there are 5, total 5. They become set of 3, 3. Then finally the mind, which is the element which is controlling all these things. This is called sarga, primary creation. Then later, by using all these elements, like Brahmaji mixes in a different proportion and created all the living entities. Say for example, like I give you example, in today we see, like we go in a store, we buy some product, any product we buy. So we see that product says, oh, it is manufactured by so and so company, ABC company, whatever. But is the really that the company is manufacturing the product? No, company is not manufacturing the product. What company does, they take the ingredients from the nature and then they process the ingredients and they mix with certain other ingredients and match and give some shape and then pack it and then deliver to us. So what they are doing is they are taking the original ingredients from the nature, some mixing and like processing, then packing and delivering to us. So it means they are not really a real manufacturer. They are basically like processor and assembler and transporter. So in reality, when they say manufactured is not the real sense. So they are only the processor. So they are the secondary creator, we can say that. So primary creator is what is available in the mother nature. So similarly, the primary creation is done by Lord Mahavishnu. Then Brahmaji takes the primary elements and then mix and match, process it, package it with the skin and all, and deliver as a living entity and other things. That's why Lord Brahma is secondary creator or sub creator, and that is called Visarga. This is Visarga. So Brahmaji is doing that, Visarga. So here, if we look at the purport here, Srila Prabhupada says that in order to explain 10 divisional symptoms of Srimad Bhagavatam, there are 7 continuous. So 7 continuous verses. So now from here onward, you will see another up till verse number 10. You will see there are 7 verses which are describing this 10 subject matter just by definition, not in detail. Detail is given all over the Srimad Bhagavatam. Just by definition, it is given here. Like when we say what is sarga definition, there is a visarga definition like that. So definitions are given in first 7 verses. The first of these pertain to the 16 elementary manifestation of earth, water, etc. with material ego composed of material intelligence and mind. This is the sarga part. Right? The subsequent creation is a result of reaction of above mentioned 16 energy of first Purusha, Mahavishnu, the incarnation of Govinda. So as I mentioned that Mahavishnu is the first Purusha incarnation of Lord Krishna, who actually gives these 16 elements, and then Lord Brahma takes these 16 elements and mix and match and create the subsequent elements. यह कारण आर्नव जले भजति स्म योग निद्राम अनंत जगदंड सरोमकूपा आधार शक्ति अवलंब्य पराम समूर्तिम गोविंदमादिपुरुषम तम भजन. So this first Purusha incarnation of Govinda, Lord Krishna, known as Mahavishnu, goes into the yoga nidra, mystic sleep. So Lord go into sleep in the Karana ocean, in the Karana ocean, which is the causal ocean, and he sleeps. So his sleep is like called yoga nidra. Our sleep is called we sleep in Mahamaya. So when we sleep, we forget everything. But when Lord sleeps, he doesn't forget anything. Rather, he does creation while he's sleeping. So while he's sleeping, from his body, there are innumerable pores are there. From there, every whole of his body, it actually innumerable universes comes out when he exhales out. And when he inhales back, all these universes goes back into his body. यस्येक निश्वसित काल मथावलंब्य जीवंति लोम विलजा जगदंडनाथा विष्णुर महा से यस्य कला विशेषो गोविंदमादिपुरुषम तम भजन. So that is 548. This is 547 in Srimad Brahma Samhita, and then 548 is basically where he says that Lord Brahma exists only till one breath of Lord Mahavishnu. When he exhales out, all these universes comes out. When he inhales back, all these material universes goes back into his body. So that is the lifetime of Lord Brahma. So here in the last paragraph, Srila Prabhupada says that as mentioned in the previous verse, Srutena, the Vedic reference, as I say, Vedas also called Sruti, means we hear from Vedas and then we get the knowledge. The creation is made possible from Supreme Personality of Godhead directly by manifestation of particular energy. The very important point Srila Prabhupada mentioned in this paragraph is that only through Vedas we know that this material creation is done by Supreme Personality of Godhead. Otherwise, we cannot know that. Nobody, no way you can actually see where is the hand of Supreme Personality of Godhead. You can't find. If you don't take Vedas into picture, then as Prabhupada said that without such a Vedic reference, the creation appeared to be a product of material nature. This is a very, very important point. If you don't take Vedas as an authority, then this material world looks like a product of material nature. There is no hand of Lord. So in order to really understand that how this material world came into picture, is basically we have to take reference from Vedas. Vedas is a final authority. So that's why Prabhupada said this conclusion comes from a poor fund of knowledge because they don't know Vedas. From Vedic conclusion reference, it is concluded that the origin of all energy, internal, external, marginal, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Through Vedas, we know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And through Vedas, we know that everything comes from Krishna. He is the cause of all causes. Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchidand Vigraha, Anadir Adir Govinda, Sarva Karan Karan. Krishna is the cause of all causes. Without Vedas, we cannot know. It's very impossible to know that the cause of everything is Krishna. So, and as explained herein before, the illusory conclusion is that creation is made by inert material nature. This is the illusory part. When we don't take Krishna into picture, they think that this material nature is come as who is doing the creation. The Vedic conclusion is transcendental light. Various non-Vedic conclusion is material darkness. Without Vedas, we cannot really understand the transcendental nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead or the hand of God behind everything. The non-Vedic conclusion is that it's done by the material nature, which is darkness. The internal potency of the Supreme Lord is identical with Supreme Lord, and external potency is enlivened in contact with the internal potency. So material nature cannot work independently. Here, Krishna, Srila Prabhupada says, material nature works only when Krishna's internal potency enliven the material potency. Like as Krishna says, that without the touch of Krishna, without the touch of living entity, this material nature cannot work. The part and parcel of internal potency which reacts in contact with external potency is called marginal potency in living entity. So this is all actually mentioned in Bhagavad Gita and various places in Srimad Bhagavatam. So thus the original creation is directly from Supreme Personality of God, Parabrahma. So here Prabhupada is giving conclusion that the creation, original creation comes from the Lord, Sri Krishna, and the secondary creation, which is the reactionary result of original ingredients, is made by Brahma. Thus the activity of whole universe started. All right, let me stop here. So I took a little more time today. Sorry for that. Any questions or comment anyone have on today's discussion? But there are more details are coming. So like text 4 until like text 10, all these details are coming. So these are the 10 subject matters. Any questions, comments anyone have?
This is very, very interesting, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We have to know a lot in this first, the first chapter itself. And I'm writing all that. But a lot of things in this, first creation and second creation, it meant a lot. So not that just like that reading Vedas and then reading 10 cantos of Bhagavatam. Like it says in other Bhagavatams, what is that? Bhagavatam's essential. What is this topic? Headline of this one.
Yeah, the Bhagavatam is the answer to all questions.
That answers to all the questions. This itself, only text one itself, this 10th chapter, that first one itself is having lot of information.
Yes,
So
Mataji.
I don't know to remember this.
No, you can ask me, you can call me, I can give you all these details again.
Yeah,
Or
this is
you
very,
can
very interesting, Prabhu.
can
You said Atra. What is it for Atra? What did you say?
Atra means here in this Srimad Bhagavatam.
In
Atra means
this,
here
okay.
in this Srimad Bhagavatam.
Oh, in this is Bhagavatam. I wrote Sarga, Visarga, Sthanam, and
Poshanam Utaya.
Poshanam. What is that? Pute.
Poshanam
After that, what is that, Prabhu?
Utaya.
Uttaya. Okay. Uttaya and Manvantara again. You said all the what Brahma sage and everything. And Nirodha.
Yes, Mukti Ashraya.
And liberation. Oh, it's too much to know. To keep on. I don't know. Your explanation is very, very nice today, Prabhu. And we have to eat, at least I have to eat 2-3 times, then only I can digest this.
You can hear the you can hear the recording, Mataji.
Yeah, that's what I have to do. That is really, really important. All these things. I never knew this much inside in this Bhagavatam. Just reading books and cantos, I thought like that. But how much Prabhupada separated all the cantos, named them. Those are all very, very interesting, Prabhu. Thank you very much for doing this today.
Thank you, Mother. Thank you very much.
Like it doesn't need it. This time is very less today. You are saying that you just took long time, but now this time is not enough.
I know that.
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Thank you very much. Anyone else have any other comment or question? All right. If there is no more questions, so thank you all for joining.
That's why before they were saying that next canto is very interesting. I thought some like other cantos we are reading like that, I thought. But this whole one canto itself, this thing, text itself has so much information.
Yes, Mataji.
Really thankful.
This is just the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam.
Beginning of the question.
Yes.
Right.
The details are coming forward.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu.
All right. So thank you all for joining. Have a wonderful Krishna conscious day. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Vancha kalpatarubhascha
Patithanam
pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo
namo
Anant Kodi Vaishnava ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji.